I'll... Mm. Say hi. Say hi. I know, no, no. Kuya's working, please. So, the plan right now is to just darken these spots here. So you achieve this level, right? So I'm thinking I should darken the shadows first, so it's like creating those uh, fashion drawings again. Just the cast shadow drawing. So I'm gonna focus on that right now. And I'm gonna darken certain spots that I think need to be darkened. And sorry for that notification. So I have a very small brush here I can use. It's still a makeup brush, but it's very useful. So just to reiterate, we started from like certain spots, depending on the area. Start at the mid-tone or the mid-level shadow of that area. Like, it doesn't have to be exact though, because the point of that is to be able to allow ourselves to darken it. Right? So we're starting slow and then just darkening it slowly to create the dimensions that we need. Because given our reference here, given the task, that it's a very it's like a blown out photo. The original is not, can be called not blown out, because but it's just like this, only darker. So it's a kind of two-tone photo. So our task is to create dimension in a subtle, very subtle way, without defining everything. uh, I'm hoping to be able to pronounce certain things. And slowly darken certain spots. So this is where your knowledge of anatomy will come and become useful. Okay, so my plan here is to eventually be able to at least shade the entire area because at this point, most of these areas are blank. There's no charcoal on there. And I thought that to help somebody there, it's one of the ways to think about this process is like using a 2H pencil, right? But what we're doing here is using the brush as a pencil. So we're basically drawing shades. So as you can notice here, there's these weights or shades. So are part of the face, and you can learn this from um, drawing the head by Andrew Loomis. His cheekbones here, yeah, the eyes. So all of these are basically available information that we can use to our advantage. So, example, the most common thing is the bags here, right? So, depending on the race that you're trying to draw, like for Asians, Asians usually have bags here, and it's really cute, right? It's part of their features. So we know that it's there, so we can look for it in the reference, and then you just relax, you can actually find it. There's subtle shades in there that actually exists, but if we just look over, we can look over it quite easily if we're focusing on the most obvious shades. It's easy to look past, like I said before, when we're still focused on the hard edges and still focused on the general shapes where things are and stuff. It's quite easy to miss all of those tiny details, but it'll come up once we've established the parts that we need to establish, then they will certainly appear in your visual. You don't have to try too hard, it just comes out. And you'll know because if you studied, if you at least, tried to draw a head from scratch without any reference, you'll notice certain things that are there. Um, Also, the Riley rhythms of the face is also very useful for looking, being able to see all of this stuff because the rhythms show you certain things, right? For example, here the forehead. Most before I don't notice this, but there's actually like a bump here on the head. It's not always the same for the depth, the how wide it is. It doesn't always. It's not always the same, but it's always there. Like for example, here I can't see it I can see it if I don't look, if I don't know it. It's just gonna look like a shade here, but there's actually her forehead actually has this here. It's a little bit, it's a little bit of shade that I can see now. It's going from her hairline here down towards here. So there's like a dark area here, ever so slightly darker than the shade that's going to be here. And this one is ever so slightly darker than the general area here. So you kind of have this thing, right? And usually it's not just that, it's actually part of the shape of the person's eyebrows, because the eyebrows usually falls under those, within and under. So it's good to just, you can just skim through it and just draw a couple of heads and just slowly take your time. Just enjoy the process, just enjoy your learning. I'm sure artists are like addicted to learning stuff. I think it's part of our nature. Be curious and, learn stuff. And usually that's what gets us stuck, right? We kind of always be in this learner's mindset. And even if we know something, we know how to do something, we kind of insecure about ourselves because knowing that there's this vast information out there that we still don't have a grasp on, and you know sometimes it makes us insecure and debilitates us from actually accomplishing things. So I guess that's one struggle that we all share. We can easily break through if we just take it easy and just have fun and just chill out. There doesn't have to be an intention about it, just have fun. So I want to focus on certain parts here. I want to bring her face up more by darkening all of this here. So we know that this is like receded, but there's just too much light burning everything off. So our task now is to at least uh, create a cartoon about it, make things obvious, make things less obvious. This is what AI cannot do. The freedom that we impart to our work. AI is a little bit machiney. It kind of follows an algorithm even when it's rendering stuff. So because AI images are actually not produced raw, like you have to enlarge it. I don't know the exact process, but those things, those algorithms, those softwares kind of have rules in them, right? So they're gonna produce something less organic. It's not gonna look organic. So this is where we shine now. We're given like permission by the AI, because of AI, we're given permission to just express ourselves even more. Okay, so I tried like painting using an AI, and there's something mechanical about it that when you try to duplicate it, it changes. It takes on a new form that is not like the AI image itself. Kind of becomes your own. So I think we're still safe, especially when we're not, you know, when we're not in a. But I guess for like companies, like game companies and stuff, you know, the real problem, the efficiency potential is there, right, for AI. But the real problem, I guess, is money. I mean, people losing jobs is a terrible thing. If you're just a student and you're just trying to learn stuff, there's tons of AI material on the web. I think Pinterest has become like populated with AI, and religious icons are there. I really am looking forward to using those as reference next time, just for study, quick studies and stuff. I love painting religious icons. It's like, I don't know, something mystical about them that feels weird. It's religious icons. It's like they come from another world, from a different dimension, or from a different timeline. If my lunch break is correct, and you're living actually a different from a past from a different past that we know. So maybe that's why it feels weird. Excuse me. Okay, let me close the door because it feels like poop. Cat poop. It's a slow process, but it's good. It's a good process. It's also fun. Just layer things down because I don't want to create too much contrast where there's it's not needed. So the more you do this, the more you gain control. The more you become familiar with your brushes, the more you're able to like control the amount of the cat wanting to go out. So don't worry about it. Like I practiced for a few months. It was like a regimen that I did. When I wake up, I shade those half moons and stuff, spears. Before I go to bed, I shade them, create them. It's just part of a plan. Fun. It's like watching while watching YouTube videos, listening to the news. I just shade couple shapes and create those boxes with numbers, right? 0 to 9, and then you shade them from dark light. You eventually become like uh, familiar with your paper, your brush, and your charcoal powders or pencils. I also tried those not compressed charcoal, but like vine charcoal. Like I make powders out of those vine charcoal and then use them. Those are very efficient for creating like light tones, but they don't hold on to the paper too much. So that's one property that it has. You can quickly create like light tones with those. Like this one commission that I had before, it was similar to this but was bigger and like 4 times bigger. So I couldn't do this kind of thing because it would take forever. So I used the big brush, the one I showed you this morning, this afternoon, like this one. So I used this using the vine charcoal powder to create the lightest tones, and then just added the darker tones later. At least it helped me like make the job a little bit manageable, but it still took me like 2 weeks to do it. And I had to use like this strong light. It was a really hard task. And on top of that, the um, what's his name? The client or the patron wanted me to change a few details about the photo, like remove certain parts of the clothing, change the hair. Oh, here it is. I was looking for the brush. So let's slowly build this up. Oh, no, this is not the right brush. Come on. What do you need? Nag-eat naman ka. You're done eating. I already gave you food. You want more? You want more food? Want more food? She wants more food. Slowly build this up. Let's check. You can always like use certain parts of the hair area to test out your brush or thin out the charcoal that's in there, or actually pick up charcoal that's in there. So this one is a brush that's a little bit tighter. The fibers are a little bit tighter. It's still synthetic makeup brush. I forget the name, but this is very useful for filling in those small, like drawing lines. It kind of gives us this opportunity to create the subtle lines in there. Kind of looks. It also helps if you have your phone right up, recording or just viewing your work, and then you look at your work through that phone. It's kind of like looking uh, in a mirror. Kind of gives you that type of feedback, like a fresh look to your work. So which one's darker, which one's lighter. So using your phone as a tool can work, actually be useful. So I always thought that it was about moving charcoal around, but it's not really. You're actually applying charcoal most of the time. Applying charcoal is so much more fun than moving charcoal by rubbing your paper. When I was starting out like 2 years ago, I thought that people were actually like, because they use the pencil, right? They do the pencil like this, and then they brush over it, and it like spreads out like magic. And I thought, how do they do that? I can't do it. If I do it myself, it doesn't work. So maybe they're hiding the information. Either their brushes had powder in them, or they're actually scratching the paper, or they're using a charcoal like the soft charcoal. This is charcoal sticks that are square. Um, I forget the name. It's like a foreign product. They're like wood. It also comes with soft, medium, and hard, and it's what's the name? It has colors, right? A yellow box, a green box, and a blue box. I can't remember it. Nitram, charcoal. So Nitram kind of allows you to do that, but not really, not too much. You can spread it out to not too much. Here I'm using compressed charcoal, so creating that effect is, or that process doesn't work here. So I'm actually applying charcoal just like you would apply through pencil. Excuse me. So while I add the shadows, I'm kind of seeing things on the reference that I haven't seen before. Right. Angles here, it helps this come out and pushes this back. So I'm kind of compensating stuff with shading this now, pulling this back on the light. I think we're getting there. Looking at it through the phone, I can see that the contrast is improving and the shading is actually becoming better. I can see dimensions now, depth, I mean. Okay, since I'm going to darken this spot here, this part here, I'm gonna have to see if I can run over this. Darken it a little bit first. Avoid brushing too much certain area for a long time because it's you're not gonna see the effect, but it's gonna come. It's gonna be there. You're not gonna see how much it darkens. If you stay too long at certain area, it's gonna. You don't want to darken it too much, right? So be careful. Just do a couple of lines and see. Couple of strokes. I mean, just see the result. I haven't dipped this brush, you noticed, but there's still so much charcoal in there. If I rub this for too long, like 20 brush strokes and stuff, it's gonna darken it too much, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to use my eraser because it's gonna ruin a lot of things when you start like erasing. And when you're brushing back and forth like this, just realize that the edges, so where your brush ends, will be darker. So I use this to my advantage sometimes. I wanted to darken this, leaving this area here a little bit lighter, but still having charcoal. I'm gonna have to use the back and forth because that's going to darken these areas while applying stuff there. But be safe. I could just tap where I want to darken actually. So I think that's much more consistent and controllable than just relying on science that is, it, the variables, there's more variables to that than just applying it simply like this. So I'm beginning to see the shape here forming. Her cheeks are getting a little bit shaped. So the more I darken these areas here, I'm watching this spot, looking like, okay, so that needs to be darker. And I keep rolling up, rolling, applying slowly, building it up. Is the cheek rounder here? And sometimes, once you get a certain level here, you also want to like match up the other parts. So that could cause confusion, and you might miss something or overdo something. It's better to just do stuff like so we're doing it in patchwork. It's better to jump around and build up the drawing overall. While we work on certain areas, we're kind of still looking as much as we can general area. I don't have to look over here too far. It's just the spots where our eyes catch information. And since we're doing it slowly, there's no risk to it. So once I feel like okay, this part is a little bit okay, I can now move back down, like darken stuff here, like work through this area here. Maybe drop her face here more. Make an angle, right? By shading this. And when a person smiles, usually it stretches here. This one goes deep, like a uh, triangle. Uh, it's not really a triangle, like three sides, like this. This part here is gonna remain on top. So this is like it's gonna be stretched here. The skin is gonna be stretched here. This is too light, but I hope you're getting. But I hope it's getting through. The information is getting through camera. I haven't been. I haven't checked the camera, so I think it's time to do that. Yeah, I think I can see it through the camera. And also looking at your work from the side, like from an angle, kind of darkens it a little bit. So it's also one way to check your progress. Looking at it through the sides, so it's gonna build up the contrast. The lightest part are gonna remain light, and those that have shade will become seem to become darker. Ever so slightly. It's not too much. Then again, the phone is very useful. You notice I haven't dipped my brush, so in a way, the amount as I'm losing charcoal on my brush as it becomes cleaner and cleaner, I'm able to use it on this like super lightly shaded areas here. Allows me to just run through that without fear of it becoming too dark or stuff. Despite the fact that it has less charcoal now. So this is very satisfying. This is really going along well, and I'm really enjoying it. Kind of feel happy that it's going well right now. I think that's one of the pleasures of working with art. That's it's part of the fun. Like there's no competition. You're not fighting against anyone. You're just building up your work. Keep adding little shades. I think this is what the pleasure that Leonardo was having working with this Mona Lisa. Slowly just adding day by day, just comes back to the painting, he stares at it, and then, finds a spot like, oh, okay, I'm gonna add more here. So it's just a slow, fun process. It's like almost meditative maybe for him. so that looks, I really like where we're going here. Looks really nice. It's very subtle, but the forms are there. So here, maybe I'm gonna darken this later on. Here, spots here. I can't do anything to that right now because our brush is clean. We're barely adding shades anymore. But that's good because we can, like, there are areas here that are imperfect, so we can go over that and clean it up, make it more even. You can see I'm tapping onto those areas like crazy person. I'm sure no one would notice it, but it's for my sanity. I like things to be clean, because it's gonna sometimes it's gonna mess with your head while working with your piece. If there's just one spot here that you want to fix, and then you keep delaying, keep putting it off, it's gonna factor into the whole work. So just, you know, for my sake, I just have to correct what I think needs correction. So I think that would work. That would help. Some teachers tell us to just work like as a whole, just work on it step by step. Like, but doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for me, at least. Sometimes it doesn't help me build the picture. If there's a spot, I need like a hint. It's like a puzzle, right? So I kind of need a hint, like, okay, so this is how it looks here, right? So this is how it looks here, and that I realized that that would factor into how I would build the other parts. So if I leave this part here like incomplete to my brain, then it's gonna affect the entire work. So I can't like follow certain processes because it doesn't work for me. So those processes are really useful, and the point is to try out those pipelines, those workflow, because eventually you're gonna figure out what works for you, and it doesn't have to be like this case and this one, this process. It could be like a mix of everything. You could jump from one process to another, use on the same piece. Like you can use the step by step process on one session, and then just do the jump around in another session, then just use the overall technique for like finishing it. So it's everything is useful. Sticking to one process, I did that, all right, 2 years ago. I intentionally put myself through those process. I like watched other artists on YouTube, then follow them exactly as they did it, and it's stifling. Of course, it's gonna put you in a like in a box, right? So you're gonna have to like become a machine trying to learning those stuff, trying to follow a person's actions like a machine, and you're gonna stumble, and you're gonna be confused. You're gonna find out things that are unexplained, like why do this? Like you're gonna realize, like, oh, okay, why, how, what, which color to use next? Oh, so you jump time, your video jump time, and now I don't know how to proceed from your first example, from your first stage to the next stage because you jumped. So you kind of figure out stuff like that, and eventually you realize that some of the spots, some of these things that artists do, they're not really a formula or a step-by-step process. You know, there are portions in an artwork that you just have to like go in there and just do what you can to reach a certain outcome, and then just move from there. Just keep moving, moving on, moving on, moving on. Like it's gonna come to that realization that it's not really a formula. You know, we can't be like we can't expect to be lazily just do things like a machine, because it's not like you can't program a machine to problem solve a piece and come up with the same organic work that a human can do. So a machine will always produce machine like products. So to us, that is really very nice to know that there is no such thing as one way to achieving something. It's more like art is really like not just an expression of human intellect, but it's like reflects back to the source of our intellect, to our consciousness, right? It's kind of like a quantum effect, how quantum mechanics work, how reality actually emerges. It's random, but it's not random. It's chaos, but it's not chaos. It's order, but it's not order. It's creativity. It's creation. It's kind of hard to put it into words, but I think you kind of feel it. What I'm trying to say, you kind of feel it. Creation, it kind of takes on a different meaning, different. You understand it quite differently. What creation is, it's not like building one thing from a series of actions. You can put it in a machine, like in a factory. Sure, there are products that you can produce, like printing press and stuff. But you immediately know that those come from those, right? Even AI art, we humans can see that this is not conscious. This is not consciousness at work. This is machine. This is not creation. This is a product. This is a production. This is not creation. This comes from a production line. Like comes through a process. Creation is something that you produce from consciousness. So it's a conscious thing. It's an imprint of you from your mind. It's like a copy of your mind. And the mind is actually mysterious. It's like a byproduct of something we can't explain. Okay, now I'm gonna dip my brush back again into this paper that's dirty, but I'm not picking up things from the powder itself because it's like there's a bunch of powder here. You can see it, like there are a bunch of powder here and then there's here. So I just pick up from here that's already in the paper. So I'm basically dirtying my brush a little bit, and then plus I'm still gonna wipe it on here just to make it things a little bit even. And now I forgot where I'm supposed to where I'm supposed to. Oh, okay, okay. So my goal was to like shade this part here because it's dark. So I'm gonna thicken this because it looks like a line for now. So I'm gonna like start building up, turn it into a shade, like a bloom, shadow bloom, because there's light bloom, right? So I'm just to mention it, I'm gonna create like a faded shadow bloom here. All right. Okay. I'm gonna take a break and have some snacks. Maybe. My back is. I'm gonna lie down a little bit because my back is, laughing at me right now. My back, my lower back, it's got hurt from like walking around too much without food, without proper nutrition. I kept carrying heavy stuff and walking long distances, and without proper nutrition, so I kind of hurt my back. It's not really good. Punish yourself. It's no good. Keep yourself healthy and rest. Okay? And health doesn't just come from what we eat or how much we work out and stuff. It's also in the mind. So like I said in the previous video, take care of yourself because no one will really can ever really compete with you if you love yourself. If you take care of yourself, no one can surpass it. The care that you can have for yourself, you can give yourself, no one will ever be able to surpass that. Not even your closest mate, your closest friend, your lover. No, they are concerned with their own selves. Yeah, how quickly they can leave you if you're in a spot. If you need something that they can't provide, they're gonna hate you. Some try to look for it in another source. They're gonna hate you. Depends, right? So people are looking out for themselves, and sometimes taking care of you is actually looking out for their own interests. So the purest love you can have is for you from yourself. So do it. Do it. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Protect your mind. Protect your body. Protect your passion. Don't let other people like create this equation in your mind that Your passion is not for you because you can't do this. You're not here yet. So you're not worthy of your passion. You don't deserve to pursue your passion because you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh my God. No. It's your passion. Take care of it. It's your treasure. It's your home. It's your uh, paradise. It's where it's where you find joy. Don't let other people take that away from you. And they have reasons for doing that, right? Like talking in a darker sense here. People have reasons doing that, and there's multiple reasons. And sometimes they're not. It's not intentional. Right? They're trying to encourage you, and then or they're trying to help you or save you from pain or something. But that's just their own. That's their own path. So don't believe it. Don't take their path as your own. We can like buy the same object. Like I can buy like let's say a brush. Okay, so let's buy the same brush from the same company at the same time, right? But you know how much that brush can help us, it would differ. Absolutely, it's going to be different. It's the same with life, right? Just because somebody failed in that field doesn't mean you will fail. Somebody has reached like a dream of yours or did not reach, it doesn't matter. What their path is their path, and your path is your path. So take care of your passion, protect it, treat it as something sacred, a gift for you to pursue. Like I don't know if you've been through having no purpose, feeling of like knowing like everything like just feels so bland and useless, right? I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Like when you ask yourself, what am I here for? Like, what's my purpose? Like, give me something that I can be passionate about, right? So there are people who actually beg the stars, beg the God or life or the universe, asking for a reason. And it's really hard spot to be in. Like when you don't like to do something, when you there's nothing you like to do, it's like death, the death of a soul death. So when you have something that you really like to do, you're caught, right? It doesn't have to be like this big passion, like you can't sleep. It doesn't have to be like that. A small itch. There's always this itch that you want to scratch. Like you always want to draw. You always want to hold your guitar or just press that key on the piano or just check what this VST does. These little quirks that we have, like itches. This itch that you want to scratch. And the more you scratch it, and the more you take care of that itch, it's not going away. It's gonna become bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like until your whole life is going to be infected by this passion of yours, and it's a good thing, right? Talking about good things here. No psychopaths allowed. It's not for psychopaths or sociopaths. The good stuff. Come on. It's just gonna get. You're just gonna go deeper and deeper into it, and you know, it's the pleasure. The pleasure is there. It's your gift. That's what a gift means. It's not about the success, like accolade. You get. It's not the. popularity, the money. It's not about that. It's about your soul. It's like how you feel, like you're really alive. You're not waiting for the end of the world. When is the world gonna end? You're not looking forward to that. You're kind of just living every day, scratching that itch. It's a gift. It's a gift. Your days are not empty. You're like a flowing stream, like a river. There's a river inside of you, like a life, a wellspring of life. It keeps bubbling up, and you have to pour it. You have to pour it out. So it's always there. It's like a sign of life. It's like an urge. Treasure it, treasure it, treasure it. And if you start like watching somebody on YouTube and it kind of feels discouraged, like that, just reject it in your mind. Like, remember what I said. Like, that's his story. That's his story. If you're saying like, oh, it doesn't work like this, you're gonna get too hard and stuff. Just forget it. Forget him. Like, oh, of course, appreciate him for his testimony, but that's his life. That's his path. That's his what we may call karma, right? That's his path. That's where he is in the journey, and it's not fixed. It's not fixed. Who knows, right? You might like this guy is talking on YouTube about how bad the industry is and how hard it is. You know, it could change, right? He could get like a call from someone that he is really looking forward to, or like get a commission, or like somebody buys his painting, like just like that. It could change. It's like it's like bad things, right? Like accidents. They can happen anytime. You don't know. Good things can also happen. Like you don't know. It's not just accidents. It's like there's this weird belief that we have as humans, right? Like for good things, we have to work for it. Right? We have to we it's in our control. But bad things, no. The accidents, no. It's not in our control. No. Both good and bad things can happen beyond our control. And some might think that, everything is beyond our control. Everything. Like your decision 2 minutes ago. Like you really thought about it, right? So you put yourself through a certain thing to do a certain thing to avoid a certain thing, let's say. Okay. But was it really because you had free will, or because everything was already leading up to that, and all you needed to do, even the strength to choose that hard thing to do, was it really did it really come from nothing, from you, or was it already built up since you were young, or whatever? Was it already really predestined to happen? Like if you look at everything, like, is there really something? Is every decision really, is everything really up to us? No. No. I think not. So good and bad things, they can happen. So why close the door? Why put yourself through, like, for good things? I need to work hard for it. I need to control life itself because life itself only wants to give me bad things. No, no. In fact, the truth is, like, the universe or God is actually giving good things always. And then certain things, conditions exist in our world, in our reality, that prevents these good things from happening. That's exactly what's happening. It's like rain, right? So let's say the universe is always producing rain, right? And then you need the rain, but then uh, something, like something in our world, is preventing that rain from reaching to you. Or it might reach you, but in so much force that it ruins your crops. So there's something, I don't know, it's that the right analogy, but I think that's my belief, right? My belief is that the universe or God is always like pouring these good things for all of us. Then it's us who makes these things worse. Like it makes this good thing instead of a good thing, it becomes bad. And if instead of getting this good thing, we don't because something happens along the way. So how does that relate to art? It's the same thing. Like it's like our goal is this good thing, right? But then something happens along the way. It makes things undesirable, let's say. So it doesn't have to be good or bad. It's just undesirable. It's not what we would like things to be. So now, when somebody online, right, and you know they're very confident in how they say it, that so we kind of believe it, right? Kind of get discouraged. Like I was listening to this guy like a few days ago, and I kind of felt this heavy feeling inside me, like I whoa. So what am I doing then? Like there's no point then. Do this. Like I was kind of dragged into this uh, way of thinking that he has, that everything has to be about money, that everything has to be about like you're measured, like your art, he measures it, like your life, even your person. Because to me, this is connected to who we are. Like what we do is connected to who we are, right? So, like if it's not, then why is it so important to us? So he kind of equates everything to money. Like if you don't earn this much, then like it makes you feel like what you're doing is useless. And at first I didn't realize that. I was like, oh my god. So I was dragged into this thinking like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like this is my passion. So now everything is useless. I was dragged into that thinking, right? So I kind of had this dark feeling inside me, and I kind of questioned it. I slept on it. And then when I woke up, kind of realized like, what? Like, who is this guy? Why is he like dragging me down to this? What's his intention? Like, is it really that important? Is it really about money? To me, I have to be honest. Like, is it about money? Like, okay, so I'm not gonna gain any money about this, but is that really where my pleasure lies? Like, it's gonna be so sad. It's so sad. Like if nobody buys my work, then it's useless. So how sad is that, right? How sad. That is so crazy. That's not why I painted before. That's not why I drew those stick figures when I was young. No. Like I drew a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like Dino Riders. I tried to like draw what my classmate draws. Like he really does. He draws these sketchy tanks and airplanes and stuff. So I tried to copy him. I tried to study how he does it. I was really a fan of his work while we were young, and I really like his drawings. It wasn't about money, man. I don't know. So I think we should be like going back, like protect, take care of yourself, take care of your passion. Like watch out, because there are spirits out there. I call them spirits. Like influence, right? Because they are influencers, right? And having that platform it kind of makes them credible. Like you kind of empathize, especially if you're like an empath. So you kind of go through their mindset, like, and they can present the thing, their information, like in a way that's very manipulative. That kind of brings you to their level, right? You kind of think like they do, but you know that it's not you because it feels weird. It feels strange. It feels heavy. It feels discouraging. It feels dark. That's not yours. Okay. Just one tip. If you feel that energy, that feeling, that like you're being dragged into this weird world of darkness, right? That's not yours. So get out of there. Get out of there. Look for things that inspire you, right? That make you feel better. That leads you back to that pure feeling, that healing feeling, right? That it doesn't have to be like when you talk about motivation. Like sometimes I don't know if you guys have gone through this. Like I listen to a lot of uh, Peter J. His name is Peter. I can't remember his full name. Daniels, Peter Daniels. Before, because I was really in a very, very, very dark place when I was younger. So he helped me. He helped me break through walls, like iron walls of you know. So he taught me things through his audio tapes. Uh, and some people think motivation is about this weird feeling that you have to work, 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 work. Like there's motivational speakers out there, and all they want you to do is to work. That's what they want you to do. Like even if they mention like procrastination, they make you feel like you're lazy. That there's no reason for you to be tired. There's no psychological reason or spiritual reason for you to feel tired, to feel like you're not willing to work right now, willing to work on your dream project right now. And they just want you to work. That's what they're trying to say actually. And they're gonna make you feel bad and guilty for not going, standing up from your bed. They just want you to go over your canvas and just put on the brush, and that doesn't work. That's not for us. for anybody. I mean, humans were not made like that. we we work by necessity and passion, by love. Humans are about love. You know, it's easier to work when you're trying to take care of somebody, right? It's easier to follow your dreams when you have people that depend on you, right? That's because we humans are not built to work without cause. That's not who we are. So we are beings of passion, community, and purpose. And this motivation thing, like coming back to, sorry for the long side note. Some people think the motivation is about this urgency, like you have to climb out of a guilt trip. I, some people think that's motivation, but it's not. And besides, they don't know why we feel lazy. They don't know the reason why people are lazy. Sometimes feel lazy. You know, sometimes it's illness in the body. Actually, there's an infection in your body, or there's too much sugar or whatever. There's you lack like omega 3. It's just those simple things. And sometimes it's just you realize that you're in a bad spot and you don't like being there. And that's why you don't want to work. Sometimes when you're doing projects, because I have a lot of projects that I've abandoned. Sometimes our projects are not meant to be finished in the sense of what people think finished. Like we have a goal for a project, right? Sometimes it's not about reaching that end point. It's about starting it and then that's done. Sorry, sorry. I pressed the wrong button there, so kind of saw my back room. So where was I? Yeah, sometimes when you're working on something, it's just about releasing that energy. So don't worry if after you've done a certain amount of work on a certain project and then you feel like you're done, like okay, I don't want to work on this anymore. Just let it go. Start on the next project because sometimes we don't realize it, but our brain is preparing, building information like it's actually training on something else. It's about having that goal and then the process. It's that, and you can, and sometimes you come around, then rework on that project, do some other work on the project, and it wouldn't reach, it wouldn't be at that quality if you had pushed through it, denying yourself in the past. Like if you had worked on it, like forced yourself into that motivation thing and just finished it, it's not gonna be it's not gonna have the same quality in nature if you had given it up like you were asked to by your mind. So sometimes some projects are meant to not get finished. The finish line is just a marker, the goal is just a marker, and then the finish line is actually there when you actually felt that it was time to let go of it. That is the finish line. That is the end of that experience, because everything is an experience. It boils down to an experience actually. Anyway, it's enough. I think I've talked too much. So when it comes to motivation, it's not all about that. When you find somebody that makes you feel like this positive light inside of you, it's hard to explain, but I'm sure you can feel it. You can feel it if you just, just take care to feel it. You know that this is a positive experience. While watching this guy talk or this woman talk, you can feel their energy. They're fueling your energy. So that's for me. That's what encouragement really is. That's what motivation is. This positive experience of something. And when there's something positive, we always want to recreate that, right? So that fuel, that cycle is gonna. That's what, for me, that's what true motivation is. It's not about a goal, finishing a goal, and being guilty, trying to escape the guilt, trying to pay your dues, and you're only fighting yourself. There's nobody watching you. There's nobody measuring you. You're just fighting yourself. You're just stressing yourself out, burning yourself out. So be careful. Take care. Watch out for the energy that you're feeling. Protect yourself, right? Watch out. I think people say it as toxicity, but you know, for me, it's different because it's about your level of awareness. It's like what you need right now. It's like it's still part of karma. It's for lack of a better word. That's actually a good definition for karma. It's like your path, right? Because of your chosen path, because of what you've been led to or chose to. This is the result. That's karma. This is your path, like configuration of your reality, right? It's like the saying, whoever wants to live by the sword will die by the sword. That's what karma is. So if you're a Christian or religious, that's what karma is. This is how you live. This is what you're going to get. What you sow is what you reap. So that's karma. What you reap is what you sow. That's what karma is. It's like a path. It's like a system, right? So you choose the system. Choose your game. If you live by kindness, And the configuration, the way the things work when somebody living in kindness, that's how your life's gonna look. So if you live in crime, then a life of crime, then that's your karma. The karma there is a life of crime. The life of a hero, the life of a hero. You're gonna see things familiar to the life of a hero. So it's like a movie, right? Like this genre, like a love story, has this elements in it, right? That's what karma is. You're just choosing a movie for your life. What kind of movie do you like your life to be? So anyway, that's it for me for now. I think I've chatted too much. Hopefully, it's become useful for somebody out there someday. So I think I've reached this. We've reached this level now, and I think I'm gonna darken some of these parts now. I'm gonna re-darken these parts. So I think I'm happy actually for our progress for today. So thanks for dropping by. Is it is the brain draw Saitama. So J Bra Bra draw Saitama. NJBG wow good draw. CMC high. Russian um, Amira. Is that Amira? It is the brain. Amira. So thanks guys for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. So again, take care.